And I realized I have lied for the policeman, I have lied for the insurance company, and the policeman say, are you really serious? You want to take the punishment? He said, you can get 1 year in prison, and of course you have to go and pay the punishment to the insurance company. So I say, I have to get rid of my lies. I lied for you, and I lied for the insurance company. I'm ready to pay the price. He said to me, when you are telling a true story like that, I cannot do anything against you, because I need it myself. I need to be a free man. I need to find Jesus. And we were talking. Eyes were full of tears from him, from me. And we had a time of heaven together. And he was the leader for this insurance company for all the south of Norway. He come up to Norway. He come from München. And he says, Sigurd, come to my ministry in Germany and start smuggling Bibles to East Europe. It's forbidden, but you'll be a part of it and you smuggle Bibles. I was the leader for the trip because 2 ladies, one Norwegian, one American. And we left the car a kilometer outside the border. We go down to the green grass and we bow our knees. We were so nervous. We say, what can we do, God? We are helpless. And he spoke to us. When I was young, I was called by the Lord. I was a teenage and I started to read about people in East Europe. People were suffering very much. They were put to prison, to hard work and so on. And that touched me. And when I was 16 years old, I bowed my knees for the first time to really follow the Lord. I go to a business school and was in business. I had a very good job. I loved it. I was not heavy into anything. I was quite normal young boy. I love running. I love sport. Skiing in the winter time. I go many competitions. But God was calling me. It happened a weekend. I was usually in sport and I was not into alcohol. But just that weekend we were free competitions. And we are drinking this weekend because there is no competition. From Friday till Sunday. Sunday come, we were still very, very drunken. I take my car and drive a trip. And I smashed my car into heavy stones and completely destroyed all the car. I could be killed. I didn't have life belts, so I broke the steering system with my chest and bottles of alcohol were thrown into my head and the car was completely broken. And I went out of the car. I didn't really know what happened, but I was still alive and I didn't have one drop of blood at my hands and face, nothing. And I know the time was coming to not just be called by God, but to follow Lord. So I go to the meeting just a couple of weeks after that, and I completely gave my life to Jesus. And I say to the Lord, Lord, you know, this time it is serious. I have no other life. I cannot go any other way. I follow you completely, whatever happened. A short story. I had insurance for my car. And the policemen come to take me, and they didn't find me. Monday morning, I was in the newspaper. They were looking for me, and I called them. I was at work, like normal. So I say, of course, you will believe I was drunken, but I was not drunken, I say, because no, I didn't have alcohol in my body. So please, could you come to my working place? I asked the policeman to give me the license, and the clothes were there, and they have taken everything from my car. Wednesday, they come to my working place and gave me the license, gave me alcohol that was still not empty, and clothes and everything. And they say something, take care or whatever. I was not really converted to God. I was called. And God called me to a Bible school, Youthful Mission. And I go to Youthful Mission in 75. And there you confess your sin. And I realized I have lied for the policeman. I have lied for the insurance company. They gave me back some money. And I promised in the Bible school to confess everything for the Lord. There was a list with many, many things. And that was a very difficult thing for me. I know when I go to the policeman say, you will have 1 year in prison. And I was a free man. I was just a lying man, but I was a free man. The lie was inside. So I was thinking, what can I do? And early in the morning, I go out from my bed and I bow my knees. And I say, God, you have to give me strength. And I say to the Lord very seriously, I open my Bible, God. I was not really into Bible very heavy. I didn't know very much about it and so on. But God, I open my Bible and the verse I put my eyes, it's from you. I bow my knees, 6 o'clock in the morning. I open the Bible and my eyes go, nothing is impossible for God. I remember it today, 50 years, when I opened and I saw nothing is impossible for God. I go to the car and I go and confess to the policeman. And the policeman say, are you really serious? You want to take the punishment? So I say, I have to get rid of my lies. I lied for you and I lied for the insurance company. So I'm coming to confess everything and I'm ready to pay the price. He said, you can get 1 year in prison and of course you have to go and pay the punishment to the insurance company. And I say, I'm ready for everything. I need to get rid of this thing. He opened the books and he asked me, do you know anything about things will grow and be too old and so on? So I say, yes, I know something about it, but I have no idea. Is it 1 year? Is it 2 years? Is it 10 years? Is it 20 years? I don't know. He say, if you have been coming to me 2-3 days earlier, you need to pay the punishment. But I open the books now. This happened 2 years after. You are just a free man. And you can keep the license and you are free now. But of course you have to go to the insurance company and pay back everything there. I go to the insurance company and he asked me, have you been to the policeman? I say, yes. Oh, you never go to the policeman and tell everything. I can hide it for you. And then you are a free man from my insurance company. I say, I have promised the Lord to go to the policeman and to go to you, because it was a heavy, big sin for me. And he said, yeah, then you are stupid. You should never go to the policeman. So I say, I tell him already, and I'm a free man from there. And then he said to me, if I not hear anything from the policeman, I cannot do anything bad from you. You are a free man from me. I see many people coming to me every day and they are lying. I can see in their eyes they are lying. But when I look into your eyes, you are not lying and you are a free man. So if I don't hear anything from the policeman, and now it is 50 years and I still hear nothing, so I know I'm a free man. He said to me, when you are telling a true story like that, I cannot do anything against you because I need it myself. I need to be a free man. I need to find Jesus. And we were talking. Eyes were full of tears from him, from me. And we had a time of heaven together. And he was the leader for this insurance company for all the south of Norway. And before he died, for some years ago, he still remembered the story very, very strongly. And he gave his life to Jesus. And there was a testimony in his funeral about it, how he converted and gave his life to Jesus because of the testimony. And then when this thing was finished, I strongly felt God said, you finish this world, the normal way to work in this world. We are in the world. We are very blessed with that. We have to work here. We have to stay here. Be happy. But God said, that's not for you. You need to go full time. I quit my job. I had a car. I gave my car to some friends that needed it. It was a family from Faroe Island. They travel all around in Norway. And I gave the car to them they could use. Because I felt I not need to own anything. And I was single man. I need nothing. I need Jesus completely in my heart. So I go to a seminar and I become a prophet, a real prophet. There are many prophets in this world. But he was an old man, came right from New Zealand. He was like a granddaddy for us. And he was teaching 1 week. And I was sitting backside. I was not really bold. I was a little shy. And he just pointed his fingers down to me. And he said, young man sitting backside there, I am calling you to a full-time ministry in the Lord. And you go home and you find a suitcase and you pack the suitcase and start to be ready to go into other nations, into my ministry, God said. In 77, there come a man from Germany. He come up to Norway, he come from München, and he says, Sigurd, come to my ministry in Germany and start smuggling Bibles to East Europe. It's forbidden, but you'll be a part of it and you smuggle Bibles. So I didn't have money. We should go Sunday morning, and even Saturday I didn't have money to go to München. We had to pay the trip to München and back again ourselves. From München into East Europe, they will give us the trip, give us the Bibles, give us the cars, but I was responsible now. And even Saturday I didn't have money. But that Saturday, the mailbox, I opened it and there was money from tax collector. I had paid too much taxes and I didn't know about taxes at all. But in that mailbox, money from the taxes come back to me. And the money was exactly going down to München and back to Norway again. Summer 77. We packed the car in Germany with 2,500 Bibles. And when we come to go to Romania, Bucharest, the leader was very, very hard, was Ceausescu. He was like another strong leader, Joseph Stalin, killed a lot of people. So we were prepared to go to prison and prepared for everything. We packed the car full, 2,500 Bibles. I was traveling together with two ladies. A week or two together in the car. We sleep in the car, we stay in the car, a small camping car. And we should cross through 3 borders of communist borders before the third was Romania. And we have 2,500 and we have dollar with us. At least $5,000 we should give to these people. And we were so nervous. I said, God, what can we do? We stopped 1 kilometer before we come to the first border of Yugoslavia. And I stop, I say, I cannot go anymore. I'm too nervous for this thing. And we left the car 1 kilometer outside the border. We go down to the green grass and we bow our knees. We were so nervous. And God, again, we say, what can we do, God? We are helpless. And He spoke to us. Because He promised us for the rest of our life to be with us every day. And He will never put more upon us than we are able to carry. And we couldn't carry it anymore, but we prayed to Him. And He said, you are not going into communist countries. You are going to my countries. You are driving at my arms, at my hands. You don't have to be afraid, because I will be with you. Many of my friends have been going before me. Some were put in prison for a day or 2 days, a week, and they all come out again, as I know. But I was afraid, not for a day or maybe a week, but I was afraid because the communists, they used to send them to Siberia for 20 years, for 12 years. And usually you die there in hard work and you freeze to death. So I was nervous. I didn't like it, of course. But God spoke and we get strength to start to drive to the first border. They check us maybe for a couple hours. They look even into the tank of benzene or diesel with lights to see what we have smuggling. They know we were smuggling something. We had a hiding place in the floor. And the car were quite much heavier than a normal car. So when we come to the control, they know it was abnormal, this thing. Another thing, we hide it in the back seat. And they check all the seats, they took them out and check everything. But my seat, where I was driving, if they have pushed it forward one time, they will say, what is inside here? Because it's so heavy, we can almost not move it. It was metal, you know, heavy metal. They never touch it. They touch all other things. Even look in the tank again. This is another trip. We have many trips. And check the motor, inside the motor, but they didn't check the seat. They even took the back seat out to check it. They find everything. My private Bible, but they didn't find 2,500 Bible we have hidden in the car. They check 100%. but not the Bibles. And we crossed the second border, and we come to the third of Romania. Finally, the car broke, and it was so heavy with 2,500 Bibles. And again, what can you do? Cry to the Lord, Lord, help us. We are helpless. We start to come several miles into Romania. There was a far distance back to Germany. The car was broken, full of Bibles. We didn't know anything what to do. The two girls start to be nervous, and they start to not trust me. And I was the leader for the trip. I was still a young man, 50 years ago. And I was thinking, what are we going to do? I go in to grab a telephone. I find a telephone up there on a wall, start to ring. Nothing happened. I come out, more nervous. I go second time, I call Germany. Nothing happened. I was more nervous. When I come out the third times, a little girl, curly hair, looking like an angel. I still remember it now, 50 years later, like it was yesterday. She come to me in Romania and speak very good English. That is like you find one in Europe or Norway that speak Chinese or something like that. It was not normal because they didn't learn it in the school. In that time, they learn Russian and they learn Romanian, maybe. This happened in Romania. She come to me with the light, curly hair, look up to my face and say, what are you looking for, sir? What can I help and do for you, sir? I think she was 6, 7, 8 years old. And I say to her, my car is broken and I am in a hopeless situation. I don't know what to do. And then she said, I have an uncle here. I can talk with my uncle. She talked with the uncle, and the uncle said, I will call my brother so he can come in the morning, next morning, and look at the car because the steering system was broken. That little girl was sent to me from Jesus, gave me encouragement. The next morning, 6 o'clock, the man come and he could melt some metal to fix the steering system so we could go 20, 30 miles more into Bucharest, the capital of Romania. Just outside the capital, the car broke again. And just on the speed limit, maybe 30, 40 kilometers an hour, we crossed over the street straight into a mechanic place. They were on the way out. Friday night, approximately 5 o'clock. All the workers were on the way home. I come there with the car and the tires are rolling, broken. And they look at me and say, you need help? I say, yes, we are in a hopeless situation. They took the car into the mechanic place, they melted, they fixed it, and we were still there on the way to leave 2,500 Bibles they don't know about. And I tell you, the policemen were all around us, checking everything. As we were nervous, they look at us. On the border, I think they were 12, 15 policemen. Three different groups to see the body language. Why are you nervous? You look very nervous. Because you should be a happy boy, a young man together with 2 women. You could have a fairy tale. You could have a good time, but you're looking nervous. They come and say this question to us. But you see, we are people. We are weak. We are strong. But God has promised to go with us every day. Strong, weak, doubting. They fixed the car. And I should leave the Bibles Friday night. But Friday night, we didn't have a map at all. Bucharest was double size of Oslo, capital of Norway, with 500,000. We know the address, Poppa Sapka 7. Poppa Sapka 7, I still remember it, like yesterday. I didn't know where it was. It was a sandy road, 300 meters long, in Bucharest. We go to hotels, we go to petrol station, we ask for a map. Nobody want to give to a tourist. We were not wanted there. So we didn't have anything. We cried to the Lord. Friday night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, the policemen were after us to try to stop us. And I go wrong road sometimes to get rid of this policeman. And we try to find a place to sleep that night. And the devil, of course, come in the night, a couple, 3 hours, and say, you end in prison. You are the most stupid people in the world. You see, you are destroying your life, and so on and so on. It was not a good time. But Jesus was with us also there. He gave us comfort. We wake up in the morning, we start early to find a map. And we come to the conclusion, 1 o'clock Saturday, we give up, no map. We don't know Popasapka 7 where it is in the world. And I was the leader, still a young man, doubting, weakness with everything. And we say, Lord, we go back home to Germany with all the Bibles, we have done nothing. And I look up, prepared to say to the women, we were praying there, we go back home. As I looked, I saw a person a couple 100 meters in front of me. She was coming straight like the railway, metal railway, coming straight to us, crossing over, car were going, and stopped where we were sitting. And she said, what are you looking for? We said, we are tourists here. We don't have a map. We need a map to find some good things. We can go and look some sports and so on and so on. She said, I'm living up here in this building, 7th, 8th floor. I think the floor were 20 stores up there. You follow me, she said to me. I follow her the stairway up. She put up the map. I have a map here. And I asked her, do you know about any football game or something like here? She said, yes, there is a football station here. And today, Romania have a fight between, I think it was Hungary or Yugoslavia, something like that. I said, oh, we are interesting. We go and look there. And as we looked the map, I saw the name Popasapka 7. Not really the number, but Popasapka, close to the football stadium. I had the solution. I had everything. I say, thank you, thank you, thank you. I took the map with me. I go down to the 2 ladies and I say, I know where it is. And we were just there sitting there waiting for the darkness. We couldn't give this thing before it was dark. But when the darkness had come, we take all the Bibles, 2,500, out of the car, put it into suitcases, hide it behind some bushes and carry it into the house. And they receive us like an angels from heaven. And there was 7, 8 people in the room. They were laying on the knees all the time. Women and men praying strongly to God to protect us and everything as we carry 2,500 Bibles into it. We go back to Germany and I say, God, I'm not able to go a centimeter more for you. I lost 7, 8 kilo. I'm out of power. The leader said, take free a couple of days. And I did. I was a runner. I could even run marathon. I ran marathon. So I was in good shape. So after a couple of days, I said, I'm ready for a new trip, I say. So we pack again with 2,500 Bibles. And that trip was like a fairy tale. There was not a hard pressure, anything. But I learned such a lesson in 77. God is with us in the hard thing and in the easy thing. And I cannot tell all the story. The second trip also, we got empty diesel. We were lost. There come a man with a diesel box, 20 liter, running over in the street, running and say, you need diesel. Yes, I say, we are empty diesel in it. So you see, God is with us. If he call us, he never forsake us. I can stand before God and say, God, if I die tomorrow or die today, I can stand in front of God and say, God, I'm sorry. I brought you a miserable Sigurd, but you never leave me one time. You never leave me one time. For 50 years, you allow me to stay in this world and follow you. You never leave me one time. I know you were with me. I'm sorry I could just give you my weak life. My life was not so very much to be proud of, but you were a God I could trust all the time.
Can you say something for those who, haven't had these kind of experiences with the Lord? Can you say something like to encourage them to?
I want to say one thing to you. You bow your knees because you are honest with the Lord when you bow your knees. Maybe go to a room alone and you speak to God. You speak to God that gave you eyes, that gave you breath, that gave you a teeth to eat. It's a miracle, everything. And if he have given you life, he never forsake you. He call you, he will speak to you, he tell you by name. He's a personal God. My name is Sigurd. He speak my name so many times, Sigurd, 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 because I have to realize that he loved me. Personal God love me. I'm not a tool like a car or something. I'm a person. I need to be loved. My father was a very strong man. He was working. He was not really happy with me because maybe I was too weak. And he just gave me new work. So I didn't have he was like a shadow for me. He wanted me to work harder. I was the youngest and the smallest of all. So he wanted me to work harder to help him. And I was too weak for that. So I grew up with a father that loved me, but he was not able to express his love to me. But I was 20 years old and 23 years old. God started to speak and say, Sigurd, I love you, I love you. The first he say, I am so pleased with your life. And I was not happy with myself at all. I thought I was quite miserable. And God spoke to me, I was 23, 24 years old. Sigurd, I am so pleased with your life. I'm happy with you. And that started to happen, and now almost 50 years. He speaks personal still. I am happy with you, I'm pleased with you. And when I call you to go someplace, I will be with you. You can go whatever. You can go to the South Pole, to the North Pole, to America, to China, to Russia, whatever. When God is calling you, you are safe there.